Hey guys, my name is xOctoManx and this is the setup guide for my simple quest manager, which is already available in the Unity Asset Store, so feel free to check this one out if you're interested into. Please watch or see this little window in the bottom left. What you can actually have in the demo scene once you have installed all the assets is this moving character and also those guys in the background and something else. If you go close to an NPC which has that exclamation mark on its head, and you are near or close to it inside a collider, then you are able to press space and you can actually access or see what kind of quest does this guy have. So you can simply click on the quest, which is a quest title, which is also represented in the bottom, in the top over here, and it says, okay, you have to this is something for testing, you need to leave the town and come back. So we can accept this one, and instantly this exclamation mark will turn gray to a question mark. So what we need to do is we need to hit that collider in here, which is representing the town. So we go inside of that. You can see it's updating the question mark already, and we can simply complete the quest. And also, as you can see, it now has another one, which is of type chain quest. So the first quest actually unlocked another quest, which is, well, actually that chain quest. So you can need to leave the town now 5 times, so we can actually count up stuff. And also you can see the other guy now has a gray exclamation mark, so, or question mark. So we can go in, out 5 times. And now this guy is going to return or take the chain quest back because it's completed. And that's the whole system. There are a lot of possibilities with the system itself. You can collect items like keys and stuff, I don't know, or even mushrooms and so on. What I want to do now is I want to show you how you can actually set up your own quests by using the current system I provide. If you are unhappy with the design, you can always go in and change that and even reconstruct everything inside. And yeah, let's go and start a new scene for this one, so you know what's actually important for the scene, as for example. So what you want to go ahead is, at first you want to go to the prefabs folder. And inside you're gonna have a quest folder, and everything about the quest is going to be inside. What you need to do is, in the first scene or wherever you want to use the quest manager and the user interface manager for the quest manager, you need to implement the quest manager prefab and the user interface manager prefab. So those two are important in here. I'm gonna deactivate the UI manager for a second so you can see what's happening. In the quest manager prefab, which is just an empty game object with an assigned quest manager script, which is actually contained or located in the scripts folder, you can have, or you have, a quest list. And this list is basically containing all the quests you currently have. So when you open up the first one, you can see, okay, this has a title, Hello World. It has an ID. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. And we have a progress. Also, we have a description hint, congratulation text. Same for a summary. The summary is automatically filled currently by the system, so you might want to go in and change that later on by code. And the next quest is going to be another ID, which is a chain quest ID I'm going to talk about in a second as well. Then we have the quest objective. It's currently of type string, so later on you might want to go in and use an integer as a quest objective type. How you can do that is written in the manual located in here in the simple quest manager, so you can go in and see what's all about the quest objectives as well. Okay, then we have, I'm gonna open this one up a bit more. We have the quest objective count in here, which is currently 0, so the current objective count, and what is the requirement. So in this case you need 1 times to do whatever you have set it up in here. Also, later on you want to go or give away EXP rewards, gold rewards, and item rewards, currently of type string, the item rewards. Again, this is also seen, or you can read about that in the manual as well, because this is not directly implemented, but again, it is written inside what you could do, because everything is dependent on the systems you are using as well. So like inventory system and reward system, depending on how your characters are going to be set up and so on and so forth. Okay, so what you need to do at first is, actually I recommend cleaning up the complete quest list and create your new ones. You can just reduce the size to 0, and usually it should be empty when you're entering another number 1 in here. So now you can see you have everything is empty, and you can now type in any title of your quest, for example. So I'm gonna do that right now and show you what's happening. Okay, so again, this is the quest title, which is actually, give me a second, actually seen on the button and on the quest name text in here once it's automatically filled on game start or when you're talking to an NPC. The next one, the ID does not or has to be at least 1 or higher. It can be any integer you like. You can make your own, I don't know, whatever, fold out, but you need to make sure it is at least 1. Also make sure every upcoming quests are not of the same type of ID. Otherwise the system might be, have some trouble. If the quest progress represents in what state the current quest is. Not available means it can be unlocked later on. Available means it's actually available once the game starts. Accepted means it has been already accepted. Complete means, well, it is completed, and done is it will be completely done actually. So when it's complete, then you can give it away to the NPC, and the NPC will set this one to be done after doing so. When you accept this one, it will automatically set to be accepted. So what you want to make sure is if the quest is available at the very beginning of your game town, whatever, or NPC, make sure it is set to be available. Otherwise, it's not working in any case. The next one is a description. You want to fill in what the player has to do. So this is the first quest description in here, the quest description text. So, for example, you can tell him to go to a specific place, talk to a specific NPC, or do anything else. You just need to, determine what he should do. Okay, so we can say go to location XYZ. Doesn't really matter what you are going to type in here. Actually not for me, but for you. You need to be descriptive, or as descriptive as possible. Once you have taken or accepted the quest, the description text will change to be hint text. The hint text is also seen in the quest log panel when you are pressing the Q button. So I just type in move now, so you can see the difference later on. And the congratulations text is actually, hey, you made it, or whatever. Here's your reward. So when you have completed all of that stuff, the summary again will be filled out automatically depending, well, at the moment, you can actually change this one later on. It will be a summary of how often and what's the quest objective. So the first one is quest objective, then will be a colon, then will be the number of the current quest objective, and then the requirement quest objective. So what we're gonna have in here is we are not unlocking a next quest, so we keep this one as 0. The quest objective is any string we're gonna need to check later on for a specific position, for example. Or we can actually, as I said before, change this one to an integer, so we return an integer when we are hitting a specific collider, for example. Okay, so what we can do with that is we can say, I just rename or name this one location XYZ. So this is actually the string. Location XYZ is going to be the string which is represented later on the collider we are after. I'm going to tell you that in a moment as well. And of course the quest objective requirement is we need to do that only once. Once we have hit all of that things or made everything possible, once it has been accepted, it will automatically set itself to complete when everything is done. I'm going to show you that. The next most important piece is you need to apply the changes to the prefab, otherwise you have serious trouble later on. So make sure you press the apply button in the bottom, in the top right corner. So everything is now not darkish or bold black, but just a normal black one. Okay, same for if you want to have more quests in that list, feel free to do so. You can just implement this or actually increase the size of the list to 1 trillion of the length and so on and so forth. And if you have a chain quest which is actually coming from the next quest in here, so we are unlocking another quest with that particular quest, then you enter, for example, the next ID, in this case maybe 2. So we can implement the size. I just go over and rename this one to second quest, just so you are able to see this one. This has the ID 2, so the ID 2 is the next quest ID you're gonna go and unlock in here. So we are not unlocking anything in that. We're gonna keep the rest for itself, so you can later on go in and design everything on your own. And maybe I'm gonna rename the quest objective to that, just to make sure it's not the same quest objective we currently have. We could also go in and keep that and say the requirement for this one is maybe 5. So you need to go to a specific location 5 times in a row, like I already showed you in the preview. Okay, that's everything for the quest manager you need to know. So fill up everything, make sure all the IDs are going to match and everything has its own title. And this one needs to be not available because it has to be unlocked because of that one. So make sure you set this one to not available when you are unlocking this one with the chain quest. Okay. So the user interface manager, actually, when you create your own one, has some panels in here. So you might want to go in later on and change that to your needs. Or actually, the best way currently would be just change the graphics to your needs. And go inside later on and test what is what doing. So everything is currently set up, as you can see, the text fields, the summary fields, and so on and so forth. They're all renamed, all structured pretty well, as you can see in here. So we have the canvas on its own, also incremented the event system directly in the user interface manager. So if you later on have more canvases, or actually you have currently some canvases, and you make sure that you delete your secondary event system. So you just make sure that this one is in the scene, or at least just one. But better don't delete the event system directly from the UI manager, because this is again another prefab, so you would rip everything apart. Or later on you might wonder why the hell is not showing anything, or nothing is actually working, because the buttons won't react when the event system is not available in the scene. So we have the quest log panel, which is just a panel actually, or an image, nothing fancy. I just disabled this one because it's uninteresting. We have the available quest part in here, which is that piece here. We have the quest description block actually. So and also we have later on the running quest and the other things for the quest log panel, which is activated again when you're pressing the Q button. You can always go into the script and change the button. And we have the quest panel itself, which is the overlaying one, which is which has the block available quest, running quest, and the quest description block. And inside there are all the buttons and game objects, all the other things. Make sure you don't rename anything in here. Make sure everything has the same name as it currently has. Otherwise, again, you might rip some connections. So you would need to rename the pieces later on inside the script. So if you have any null reference problems and so on and so forth, make sure that you rename the stuff back properly. Okay, so when you have set this stuff up, you just need actually make sure that you have a character in your scene or anything else which is reacting to whatever we're gonna do. By the way, when you now press play, nothing is going to be shown, so this will be automatically set to be deactivated, at least the quest log panel and the quest panel. And when I press the Q button now, I will get this little field in here, which is a quest log. You can always pass in something like a name field in here so the player knows better. And pressing Q once again will also disable it, or you press on that small close button, it will be closed as well. So now let's set up the scene. I'm gonna deactivate the UI manager pretty quick once again so we can actually work on the scene. It depends on how you want this to set up. Sometimes it's better to create just an empty game object and rename this one to maybe environment, and pass in all the stage elements or all the level elements directly inside. I'm gonna reset the position, and as a child I might go in and just create a plane. You later on have all your other systems and stuff, so I just want to show you a pretty quick way to do so. So I add a plane so you can see, okay, we have that plane directly here in the scene, and on that plane we can double click to zoom in a bit, and we can place all the stuff we have. If you don't have any characters at the moment, you might want to go to the prefabs folder I just provided in here. We have 2 characters in here. The character I was walking around, he is already set up with the character walking script, and the animator components are set up as well, and the same for the monk in here. So what you can see on that monk is he has already 2 colliders. The first one is a trigger collider, which is in front of him. So this will trigger the space bar or press space image. And we have, of course, the canvas, which has a quest marker image actually, and this one, and they will change accordingly. Also, what the monk has, not just animations with a wink animation actually, he also has a quest object script. And the quest object script is again located in the scripts folder. You just need to drag this one in. And what you need to pass over is, of course, the quest marker canvas. You can actually take this one. You just make sure that this is a child of your character or your NPC or whatever. So you can actually take the complete canvas and pass this into your characters. So, but you need to make sure that you pass in all the child objects directly inside the quest object script. So I can show you this one pretty quick. I just remove the component and drag in the script from the quest system, which again is of type quest object. Just drag this one in. Now you can see you don't have the quest marker. Again, the quest marker is the quest marker canvas in here. The image is going to be the quest marker image. The press space one, of course, is the space image. And then we have, of course, the sprites, which is a exclamation mark and a question mark. You can again go in and change all of them to your own graphics and all the other things. Nothing fancy at all. But the problem, or actually the most important one, is you need to open up the available quest IDs and the receivable quest IDs lists. So for example, this is just the only one we're gonna create maybe for this little tutorial. You can say, okay, we're gonna have this guy is having an available quest of ID 1. So you implement the ID 1 inside of that. And he's going to receive the ID 1 as well. So we set the size of the receivable quest IDs to 1, and he is also available or has a possibility to tag back the ID 1. So actually you talk to him, you do whatever you have to do, and you need to come back to this guy. So this marker would automatically be set it up correctly. If you would have another extra monk, for example, so I can drag in a new one or just copy the current one. Gonna do that pretty quick with a duplication of this guy. Gonna rotate him a bit. You can actually, you know how to set up your scenes, I believe. And set this one here. What I want to do is, he's not having any available quests. Well, let me just say he has one, but only available is going to be the quest ID 2, and he's only also taking back the quest ID 2, which is unlocked by this guy once you have done whatever you have to do. Okay, and that's everything you need to know about setting up your NPCs. If you're changing something directly in here, make sure you do not apply the changes to the prefab. Otherwise, all the prefabs in the scene will have the same available quest IDs and so on. So don't confuse yourself with that. Okay, and now we need a an object which is actually our goal for our current location we need to visit, which is the location XYZ we just created before. I just create a cube, maybe gonna put this one up a bit, maybe to any position I like. I can also go in and do everything I need with that cube. It can be a circle, a collider, even a game object like an NPC. It can be everything what you like and please. What we want to do is we want to make this quest objective to be a quest objective. So I just take the quest objective script in here and tell him what is the item name which we are currently hitting in. Also, I want to make sure that this is going to be of type trigger. So the item name is now location XYZ. The deal is you need to make sure that everything is written 100% complete. If you later on use the item IDs as an integer, which is again written down in the manual I provided, then you can feel free to use this one as well, and you need to know what you have to do when you're using that. Okay, and the last one is of course my character. So I go to the characters once again and place my character somewhere here, so I can move around with this guy and can see what's happening with all of that stuff. And I can also take the camera, the main camera in here, and put in pretty quick my camera follow script. I believe it is somewhere here. There you go. And the target is in this case my character. Where is it, guy? Over here. So gonna set this one in here. You might want to fiddle around with the camera settings in here. So when I press play now, I should be somewhere behind the character and I should be able to walk around actually. And I can go near this guy and press space as he tells. And if you get another reference error in here, you might want to go in and check some things beforehand. I maybe have forgot to tell you. Well, I believe it's just because the UI manager is not active in the scene, so we might want to go in and test this one once again, since this is one he's trying to open up. So as you can see now, everything is working. We are able to get the first quest, go to location XYZ, and of course here's the summary. As I told you before, it's taken the name of whatever the objective is, and it's telling us what we need to do. We can accept this one. It's turning gray. And this is our location XYZ. Once we are hitting this one, we're gonna update this stuff in here. So when we're pressing space now once again, we are able, hey, you made it, here's your reward. If we are not completing this one and pressing the Q button again, we can see what was the objective, what's the current situation or summary, but we're not able to give this one up at the moment, or actually at this particular point. And we complete this, and what you can see also now, the other guy is now unlocked with his quest, so we can talk to this guy as well. He says go to the location 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now you can see it's turning yellow once again. We can talk to him, and then we have completed everything we need to know and everything we need to go. While running inside of that, you can always go in and check the quest manager itself. And as you can see, it has been, the progress is going to be done for the first quest, and it's done for the second quest. Okay, that's pretty much it about the setup. And the only thing you need to do is you need to make maybe later on a safe spot or a safe possibility. And what you just need to do is you need to call the load or save functions depending on what you need, and like inside the scripts folder, the quest system folder, there's a save load script in here, so you can actually go in and make use of it. Okay, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover in this little setup guide. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to ask me. Send me a mail or go to my website www.xOctoMangames.com and send me a private message inside, or use a contact form if you want to. So yeah, that's everything you should need to know. Again, if there's anything unclear, feel free to ask. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the Simple Quest Manager. Bye bye.